So, Masters, today's topic is on Fasting the Mind by Jason Gregory, who's an author, philosopher, and spiritual teacher, specializing in Eastern and Western philosophy, psychology, cognitive science, and many other fields. So, he's author of many books like Effortless Living, Fasting the Mind, Enlightenment Now, and The Science and Practice of Humility. So, moving to the topic, the epidemic of our times is not a war on terror or a war amongst nations and religions, nor is it any conflict between opposites that we can conceive of. It is a war so subtle that we are not even conscious of the battle being waged. It is a psychological war, a war against our mind, a war on consciousness. But this war is not being waged upon us from the outside world, at least not entirely so. The deep down truth is that you have waged war upon yourself. We are not even conscious of this fact because we are asleep at the wheel of our own life. We often play the victim card as if the world is against us. In truth, this mentality eclipses the real problem, which is that you are against yourself, not intentionally, but rather due to your inability to be your true and authentic self. The true and authentic self should not be confused with who you think you are as a personality. On the contrary, to be your true self means to reside in the deep place within your mind and heart where thoughts, feelings, and emotions are observed as temporary phenomena, like rising and crashing waves of great ocean of consciousness. We lose consciousness of our true self when we begin to believe we are the waves rather than the ocean. The war we wage upon ourselves is from riding these waves of thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and ultimately the notion of separation. We believe these waves that we ride are permanent and lasting. Actually, thoughts, feelings, and emotions are not the real problem because they are color the what color the world, making it beautiful or dramatic, bringing inspiration into the world when they are recognized in their truest context. So the real problem exists when we begin to identify with our thoughts, feelings, and emotions as if they are permanent and that something we can hold on to. We suffer as a result of this process. This suffering was one of the key aspects of human life that Gautama the Buddha realized. Buddha discovered that when we try to cling to our passing experiences, whether pleasurable or painful, we suffer. Armenian mystic George Ivanovich Gurdjieff had an interesting perspective and meditation on this matter of suffering. The soul means now for the saving of the beings of the planet Earth would be to implant again into their presences a new organ of such properties that every one of these unfortunates during the process of existence should constantly sense and be cognizant of the inevitability of his own death as well as death of everyone upon whom his eyes or attention rests. Only such a sensation and such a cognizance can now destroy the egoism completely crystallized in them. This is not to be thought of fatalistically. The real intention behind Gurdjieff's words is to liberate you from the impermanence of life and the illusion of this permanent ego, which you believe you are and which supposedly suffers from the impermanent roller coaster of life. Excuse me. People believe that they are this I, me, mine, and so on. As a result, we become excessively self interested. We try to sustain and maintain this permanent sense of I, which in truth changes like the wind from moment to moment with no permanent state. Many people believe they are in control of their lives, believing they are this permanent ego containing all the dramas playing out within their thoughts, feelings, and emotions. As this tendency becomes stronger and stronger in our modern world, we see an exponential increase in mental health issues and psychological diseases. The medical industry doesn't seem to have any sort of cure for these problems other than medication like antidepressants, which only suppress the symptoms without addressing the root of the problem. As a result of how we orient ourselves towards the world, we believe the cure is something we acquire from the outside world. We need to reorient our attention to where the cure really is. You possess the cure within yourself, but it is not some form of magic, hypnosis, or trickery. It is actually a natural way of life that we must come back into resonance with. This is much easier said than done because it requires discipline to resist what stimulates us. None of these problems are new. We've had them since the dawn of human civilization. And they were more recognizable in ancient times because the world was not as complex as it is today. The simplicity in ancient times is what allowed a cure for our mind and all of its acquired issues to arise. The ancient ultimate cure was born in the East, and it is a method of discipline and practice that we fear in our modern world. The method and practice born in the East is known as mind fasting or fasting the mind. Mind fasting directly impacts the habits and tendencies of our subconscious, which in turn affects our lifestyle. Mind fasting put people's anxieties at ease back into those ancient times so they could see with clarity the way forward and not only individually but also collectively. This is why this ancient method of healing is imperative for us to rediscover in the modern era. In ancient times, and somewhat still in the modern era, when a physician would examine a sick individual and realize that their lifestyle choices were leading to bad eating habits centered around momentary pleasures, they would offer the radical prescription of physically fasting the body so that all of the internal organs could finally be given the time to rest and repair from the damage done by such excess. Fasting the body helps it repair itself and we begin to correct our bad eating habits. As a result, we cultivate new, healthy habits that contribute to well being and longevity. And so we change a part of our lifestyle, but only a part. The great sages of East realized that they understood that fasting the body is great and can have a wonderful effect on our mind and life. But bodily fasting in no way ceases the mind's excessive need to do, to achieve, to strive, and to be a person who is self interested, all of which led to our psychological bad habits that drive our suffering, including our diets. The great sages of the East then were not concerned with fasting the body. Instead, they were concerned with fasting the mind. Mind fasting has a direct impact on root cause of all our suffering. Fasting the mind is the process of eliminating all the content that stimulates our mind and refraining from the habit of trying to stimulate it out of fear of boredom. The sage's secret is that if we can starve the mind, fast the mind, then we will begin to feel a state of equanimity that is not dependent on excessive stimulation. By dealing with our boredom through fasting the mind, we begin to feel that sense of unity within the Atman and Purusha, which the agitation of boredom eclipses. Fasting the mind means we don't respond to any sensations like boredom. Fasting the mind is the ultimate cure to suffering because, as with fasting the body, we have given the mind time to truly relax from any sort of stimulation so it can repair itself and come back into equilibrium. In fasting the mind, we come back to our original true nature, not as individual persons, but instead as entire universe, as it exists deep within Atman and Purusha that is eclipsed by mental activity. From this deep nature within, we begin to act authentically and carry out the spontaneous functions of the universe that exist in our unconscious and manifest as our dharma. That is what will lead to real world peace because the individual has come into resonance with the actuality of the universe. Individual, social, and cultural harmony comes into being as a result, and a real spirituality is recognized. The only thing that stops this from becoming our reality is you. If you don't take fasting the mind seriously, you will continue to distract your mind with whatever frivolous nonsense is available while you continue to complain about your suffering and the suffering of the world. We truly cannot complain if we do not take responsibility for what our mind consumes. Likewise, with our diet, if we do not take responsibility for what we eat, then we cannot complain about being fat. Only you can help yourself, which inadvertently changes the world. A thorough examination of your habitual patterns and lifestyles is required on your behalf. The time to refrain from all distractions and begin the great fast is now. This is what I wanted to share, Masters. Thank you all for listening. So it talks about trying to avoid distractions and trying to avoid things that stimulate our mind, causing more and more thoughts and keeping us away from trying to understand what we truly really are, and which actually stimulates us to identify more with our ego and with our emotions and thoughts and feelings. I loved this topic and thought of sharing with you all. Thank you so much for listening. If anyone would like to share your experience or your perspective or meditation experience, please feel free to unmute, Masters. Hi, Ram. Please go.
Hi, Swapna. Wonderful meditation it was. Thanks a lot. Wonderful group energies. And very, what we are daily doing, what we are daily inching closer and closer is what we have heard today, fasting the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the article, the wisdom, is only inspiring us more to sit into silence,
Yes.
to become the silence. And that is why it is very, very important that we sit more and more, because that is the only way. There is no other way out. The only way out is the way in. And the way the article had started by putting things in front very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
We are waging the war against our own self.
Yes.
So it is very beautiful. And the Western world, through the medicines, are only suppressing but not resolving.
Yes. Only the
And to
symptoms,
resolve,
addressing only the symptoms.
yes, to resolve, we have to go to the east.
Mm-hmm.
So, fully fasting. And I really like how the author had shared here about when we fast the mind, an equanimity is experienced with the sense of unity with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever noise, word, wisdom is out there, in the end, everything have to dissolve. We have to simply sit in silence.
Yes.
So, very beautiful. Thanks for the inspiration, reminder. We have to sit more and more into silence.
Yes.
Yes, Swapna.
Beautifully summarized, Ram. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your comments. Yes, Mamtaji.
Namaste, Swapna ji.
Namaste.
Namaste, Max. When I read the topic about fasting the mind, really, I was so excited. Means, yes, really, I had not observed this one. So it was so eye-catching for me. And when I heard the complete wisdom, really, thanks for every masters. And this is very important. And every time I used to hear or think about fasting of food, about the health, but fasting of mind is very important, and it helps to experience the universe love. And really, the article was so eye-opening for me. And thank you, universe. And I want to read my sentences.
Mhm.
We cannot give what we are lacking. Fill your life with joy so that you are able to spread joy in the world. Fill your life with self-compassion and self-nurturing so that we are able to help, nurture, and show compassion to others. Have faith so that we can offer it. When we forgive ourselves, we can more easily forgive others. We can only provide for others what we have learned for ourselves. Practice giving oneself love, nurturance, and grace first, then extend in outwards. Strengthen your dedication to meeting your own needs. This ensures we are connected to our own soul. Our well being is important. So, what I felt is when I was writing this, yes, we must first the self love, the self nurturing, and self making ourselves complete. This is also important. So, then we can give to others. Yeah, it's a great lesson, and every situation experience me as a student and also as a master. So thank you for all the experience. Thank you, universe. Thank you, masters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mamtaji. As always, beautiful lines and messages from you. Thank you. Yes, Sureshji, please go on.
Namaste, Swapnaji,
Namaste,
Ramji,
Sureshji.
Priyaji, and all others. Namaste, my friends and God and masters. First, let me thank you for the wonderful meditation session and, as usual, excellent wisdom sharing. And I want to thank this Beam group for converting this time, changing the time from 10:30 Indian time to 9:30. So, person like me who are going for work and all, we can take at least an hour's time for meditation, and the morning itself we get these blessings. And thank you. My special thanks to Ramji for taking initiation. And in the today's wisdom sharing, the moment I heard fasting the mind, the generally fasting means our mind will always think about stopping, skipping the breakfast or not taking food or
Yes.
this thing. That's the moment I heard fasting the mind. The caption itself, it's an eye opener. I thought I'd just share one instance. In Chennai, we had a Swamiji. He was known as Triplican. He was in a place called Triplican. I don't know whether you people, maybe Priya, maybe know him. She was in.
Yeah, I know some.
Yeah. I don't know about others. So there's a place called Triplican here. There's a Parthasari, very big temple is there. One of the Vaishnava temples out of 108 Vaishnava temples. That's an important temple in Triplican, Parthasari temple. There was Swamiji called, we used to call him Triplican Magapiriyava. So on certain days, he will be in silence. He will not be talking, but he will keep a board by saying that today I am in Maunavrata, today I am in silence, but Bhagavatam would be discussed. So then I just asked some people why he is putting that board. Then he said, silence is actually meant for thinking something good, something divine, something knowledge, spiritual, food and all this. Not he says that Maunavrata means not into the day-to-day worldly things, but anything divine. Yes, he'll be thinking about divine things, and he'll be sharing and he'll be discussing. I just thought about that, Swamiji, which I'm just sharing. Whether I don't know whether it is correlative to this our system, but I just thought about that elderly Swamiji, and I think we when we really go for this fasting the mind, that's something very powerful. This three words, fasting the mind, I have written. I think a lot of revelation comes. I think what and all I have to do, how I can be, fast my mind. Such thoughts are coming up, and it's a really thought-provoking wisdom sharing you have done. And your voice is very divine, Swapnaji. It's like we close eyes, and I close eyes, and I was simply registering whatever you spoke. Thank you so much. Thank you. As usual, my tons of thanks to Beam Group for conducting this wisdom session and meditation session. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you so much for sharing the experience and for your kind words, Sureshji.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Bhavani, please go on.
Namaste, all of you. Thank you so much, Swapnaji, for taking such wonderful topic. And 2-3 things I just wanted to share. I was deeply feeling that I want more peace inside, and I was from many years I am thinking of being silent, but I couldn't. Somehow the other external factors, I had to speak a lot. But in this search, or how when will I become silent, then I understood that lot of learning happened, lot of understanding happened. I understood that first to be 1 minute, okay, meeting में. So when I understood that I should clear my emotions, then only I can become silent. So first I have to, as Mamtaji wonderfully she has written, so it's so beautiful, apt for this topic. First you should nurture yourself, then only you can nurture anybody. So in the same way, self nurturing is very important to become silent, and in the same way, by being silent, more nurturing will happen. Both go hand in hand, but initially we have to address ourselves, we have to forgive ourselves. All these things have to be done, then only we can really become, we can do that real journey of becoming silent. And when I understood that, and I was being friendly with myself, and I am able to forgive myself a little bit, then I'm able to become peaceful inside, and silent inside, little by little. And at the same time, when I'm becoming silent, then my meditation quality is improving. Both of them are going parallel, means becoming silent and quality of meditation, improving quality of meditation are proportionate. And one more thing I just wanted to share with all of you. Mother Earth, in her message which Madhumita received, she told that from after, when we go into the deepest core of silence, then the spirituality starts. Until then we think that we are on the spiritual path, but in the true sense, our spiritual journey starts when we become silent to the core level. So this is what I wanted to share. Then thank you so much, Swapnaji, because I'm deeply wanting to become silent, and you have chosen this topic. I'm so happy. Thank you, Sureshji.
Beautiful
Thank
sharing. You've covered like so many things. It's about self-love, and each and every master here So as you said, like definitely we see a lot of difference in our meditation when we practice silence. That is one experiment that I did with few other masters for 21 days. And that was not like a full day silence. It was like trying to be, selecting a certain time, a couple of hours in a day. And then we can use that like even while we are walking. And I've seen like so much difference in the way we perceive things. And because we are not giving any we are not having any distractions or giving any stimulus to our mind, and definitely our thoughts will reduce, and our meditation practice will become better. We can go deeper, faster, is what even I've experienced, Bhavani. Thank you so much.
And one more thing, Swapnaji, we are doing Ahimsa Paramo Dharmaha sessions. That means it says that it is our prime duty to be in non-violence, to follow the path of non-violence. So that is a primary dharma. So in this process, listening to many wonderful speakers, I suddenly it's like an insight from me that becoming and the more we become silent, the more we are walking the path of ahimsa, because we are not hurting ourselves, and in the same way we are not hurting anybody. So this is so much related, ahimsa path and silence. So that's also what I wanted to share.
Beautiful sharing. Thank you so much, Bhavani.
Thank you. Thank you.
Masters, anyone else would like to share your experience? Thank you for all the messages in the chat. Reena ji, I'm sharing the link to the music, and we'll share the recording in the group.
Thank you. Thank you, Swapna ji.
Okay. Thank you, Masters, for joining and adding your energies to the meditation. We'll connect in our evening session. Namaste.
Stay.